I've just seen Pop the Balloon live on Netflix, the first episode. And if you haven't seen this Pop the Balloon trend which has happened, and obviously this is not a Netflix original series because this has obviously been on YouTube and other platforms for ages, and it's a great concept, really simple, absolutely shows you what's wrong with dating today. I am absolutely flabbergasted. That's the word. I am flabbergasted and shook to my core that the way that women like don't actually want to look for love. They actually want to just pick any hole in the man because you actually don't want to date anyone, because I could see that. So I think the problem is maybe when this was on YouTube and creators were creating this, and original creators were creating this, and that time maybe those women that turned up there or these men that turned up there were looking for love but were kind of scared of rejection, so you got a lot of like crazy reactions and popping of balloons for crazy reasons, whether that was transgenderism. Like there were so many issues that I've seen that have gone viral that were not on Netflix, but Netflix has decided, hey, we're going to put this show on Netflix because it's obviously doing that great and it's going viral. So why not? Why would not uh, a platform like Netflix take that show? Of course they would. But my issue is when I'm looking at dating now. I am coming from a space of I'm also dating right now. I'm going out, I'm meeting people, I am like ready, I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. And I'm literally right now kind of seeing what's happening in the world of dating, and it's not good. Actually, do people really want to be with anyone is the question I have for you. Because honestly, I don't think they do. I don't think all people do actually want to date, but they go about it a really strange way. Because I have what I've just witnessed on Pop the Balloon live on Netflix is 8 women, or was it 10? I don't remember. Like I think it was 10 or 8 women, and they obviously are all drop dead gorgeous. All of them have some kind of career, and all of them kind of came there for an audition and to showcase themselves as something rather than actually to meet a guy. Because actually the guys, I have to say, the team, the production team, the casting team of Pop the Balloon got a bunch of girls that was stunning, that any straight guy would want to date, and many lesbians would want to date. They were all gorgeous and stunning and everything, but none of them are there to actually date anyone. You could see that from the get-go. The way that I mean, maybe the producers have asked them to introduce themselves with their career and their tag. And at one, I think it was what was her name? I want to say Jasmine, but that is not her name. Her name was Samina. There you go. Samina was from Turkey, and she was wearing this gorgeous red outfit. She looked great, beautiful woman, and really spoke really well. And you could see she was articulate, she was intelligent, but really, she was just there to tell everybody she's a hyper creative. And it was just like, it just feels like you're there to say that rather than to actually even give a guy a chance. And there was other women. One of the women was very proud about being a bottle service girl. And obviously, there are some guys that might not like that. And I don't know why that's an issue. If a guy doesn't like that, how is that all of a sudden? At one point, one of the guys was like, "Oh, I don't like, it's not. That's not the kind of girl that I would like to be." Oh, he made a comment. Sorry, I think it was like he made a comment. Oh, that figures or something. Like he could tell, she was. So it was a backhanded compliment. But all these women stood up for her and was like, "What?" But then when you look at what these women who stood up for that girl said and did, they didn't stand up for themselves. I mean, the way they were talking about this guy, about all the men. Oh, he's too short. He should be black from the waist down. I like my men to be long from waist down. And so you can say all of these things about men, where you can say, the appendages, how long they should be, what color their skin should be, how tall they should be, how they should talk. You can pick out everything in a man. But if you role reversed it and men were saying that about women, it would be like, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you. So I was just getting really like actually quite angry watching these women attack these very nice men. I don't see one man that came onto the first episode of Pop the Balloon Live that was, a gamer, or a roadside Romeo, or somebody who was really not there, and wasn't being a nice guy, didn't have a career, wasn't actually, someone that is dateable, and they were all kind of good looking. And then what is it that women want? So you get presented with these 4 or 5 guys that all of them were good looking, all of them had a career, all of them spoke well, all of them knew what they wanted in a woman and in a relationship. There were no huge red flags. At one point, one of the guys was called a murderer because he looked too clean cut. What? And that was a reason to bust a balloon. And then, oh, you're just too short for me. Like, the guy that they were all calling a short king wasn't short. So I am just actually wondering if the human evolution about dating and finding love, the next stage is actually for everyone to die single and die alone, because nobody wants to be with anyone. Everyone's just there for their career. I have to say, like, the first guy that came out, he was some reality television guy and whatever. Like, I didn't know him because I don't really watch a lot of American reality TV, but he came out and he was hiding behind a plant. He was being funny, and he was coming out and being a bit smarmy and being a bit jokey. And yeah, some people might not like that, so it makes sense. He's gonna get some balloons popped. But then I just feel like no one wants to give anyone a chance. It's like, no, you can't be funny. You can't be, but actually you want to come home and actually laugh with your man, right? But he shouldn't be funny when he comes out there. So it didn't make any sense to me. Besides, oh, you're too old for me. Okay. But if you say that to a woman, which actually happened in the same episode, oh, 30 is a bit too old for me. And then there was a barrage of popping balloons because the guy was 24. So if a guy is 24 and says, I don't want to date someone who's above 30, how is that a problem? Why is that a problem? And all of a sudden, it's like, again, about woman power. It didn't make sense. It's like you're trying to find red flags where there are none. I have to say, none of these men had crazy red flags that were like, oh my God, no, no, you mustn't date this guy. He's so awful. They were all actually decent human beings. And well, far as what we could see, what was presented to the women and us, they seemed quite presentable and quite decent and quite nice and dateable, but they were all rejected. Why were they rejected? They were rejected not because they're too short, not because they haven't got appendages long enough that, meet your criteria. And so women judging men on their body parts is okay, but men judging women on their body parts is not okay. What? What? Can we just reverse for a second? What? How is that okay? So the very thing that women are standing on the stage saying that is not a great thing to say about a woman, they're saying the exact same thing about men. It just made zero sense. And besides, there was one of the girls who was like, I'm a model. And then I was like, oh, but I can't see myself dating you because I live really far away. I'm not in LA right now, but I'm going to be in LA later. Why are you on the show then in that case? You're just on the show to say you're a model, and hopefully, like, even the host cracked a joke saying, oh, somebody sign her. So that is exactly what's actually going on. So she's there on an assignment hunt. The bottle service girl wants more bottle service work, and I have to say, one of the guys, he was from Too Hot to Handle. He was pretty tall, good looking. He was a professional boxer, was serious about his career. Yes, had made some crazy mistakes in the past, but he said that I've made some crazy mistakes, but I'm actually doing some growing and growing up. And what he said on the show was that he was looking for a woman. The one thing he needed was somebody who could wash his clothes for him. And he was a very traditional guy. He was very straightforward about what he was looking for. And yeah, some women are not going to be into that. I get it. I absolutely 100% get it. Some women are not going to want to wash your pants, but some women are going to be okay with that. And he's looking for them. And so he was straight up, and I think at one point there was a lot of women who wanted to date him, but as soon as he started asking questions, and there was nothing crazy he said in his answers that made them pop their balloons. And it was crazy that this guy didn't get a date with any of the women, because actually you could see in another situation any of those women would have dated him. So what's that really about? Is that about, I've got to go on this show? Because sometimes the women were just popping their balloons because they wanted to see what's next. So what is that the problem with society today? Because we've got these apps and we've got the options that we always want to see what's next. We want to see what's better. We can't actually just decide on, actually we like this and this is what we'd like to be with and this is what we'd like to do. No. So there's no chance in hell that people are actually going to be able to find love, date each other, settle down with each other, choose someone to love, uh, be with them. And these are the men that was presented to them, and they were saying everything that was okay, that is actually going to get you to a relationship with a guy. But it felt like to me, the casting team had got these girls who were kind of thinking that they are like A grade 10s. And so therefore, they're looking for A grade 10 men. And somehow in their heads, these men that were presented to them, even though they were lovely boys and they were actually, they would make great boyfriends and maybe husbands in the future, but actually maybe these women are looking for an A grade 10 man. Now, I'm going to just clarify this. I don't believe in rating people in 1 to 10, and I don't believe there's an A grade, B grade. I don't believe that system. I'm just saying that that's what I perceive them to think and believe, because that's what I was feeling about the way they were actually coming across. It actually made me sick to my stomach. And that's why I had to make this video, because I was like, what the F is going on? You're presented with men who are ideal dating material, possible husband material. That's only if you get then you get along. But to go on a date, you can't even get on a date with a guy that's dateable. So what does that mean? That means those women were not there to find a date. Those women were there to present themselves with an opportunity to further their careers, and that's it. So the show is doomed to begin with. And yes, it's funny to see this happen, of course. But my issue is when you set it up to people looking for love, that's not what this show is about. This show is about people looking for work and destroying a chance at love for their work. And that shouldn't even play into it, but it is. This is what Netflix has done to the show. Now it's become about how can we get the best looking model, gorgeous women to come on and destroy men and not find love that they would normally have dated otherwise. If these women had met these guys somewhere outside, they may have even gone on that one date. They might have had a one night stand and it may not have worked out, or it may have worked out and they may have got married one day. But like what? There was an Indian guy at the end, and he said he was an engineer, and obviously people didn't like there was a couple of girls that didn't like his look, and that makes sense. He wasn't that good looking, I'm going to be honest. But what he was saying was like, I just like to have fun. I want to have a joke, silly life. I want to just not be so serious. I want to like, and I create things. I'm very successful, and I've sold my ideas and designs. And all the women I noticed kept their balloon going. So in that instance, I realized that most women are looking for security. Now, an engineer that can create something and sell it is very much like that whole idea of Facebook, like how you can make Facebook and sell it. So that's kind of understood. And they're like, oh, we don't mind him not looking too good, but he might become a billion zillionaire. What's that about? I'm going to leave that right there, but I had to come out and just say something because this was absolutely leaving a really dreadful taste in my mouth. And I had to come and say something because it just made me feel like dating is doomed. I'm going to leave that with you. Thank you for watching. I hope you watch again. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. Let me know your thoughts as well. All right, bye.